I'm JohnBerry555, and today I'm continuing my Gilligan's Island retro reviews with Season 1, Episode 7, The Sound of Quacking. Or is it just Sound of Quacking, because that's how it's labeled on Tubi, and I should double check where it's labeled on my DVD. Oh well, doesn't matter. We're going to go with what it says on the Wikia, The Sound of Quacking. So, this episode is actually a very important episode because it contains the first dream sequence of Gilligan's Island. And as we will see in later sequences, dream sequences are an opportunity for the castaways to play around, to play different characters, for the actors to exercise their acting chops. In some ways, doing those dream sequences remind me of the holodeck on Star Trek. You can put the characters, you can put the actors in a situation they normally would not be able to be in due to the situations of the episodes, though some things do get a bit ridiculous in later episodes of Gilligan's Island, some of the scenarios that are developed, that are thought of. But anyhow, in this episode, there's apparently a blight that's affecting all the food crops, so somehow it's also affecting the fish. There's one plant that they won't eat because the professor believes it's poisonous, and they find a duck. Yep, they find a migratory duck, so the idea is nurse it to your health and attach a message on it, so hopefully someone on the mainland, because it's apparently from North America, will be able to identify it and send a rescue team. Of course, things don't quite go to plan. First of all, once they get the duck better, they release him. And he doesn't go, he returns. Gilligan says it's because it's feeding time. And by the way, Gilligan names the duck Everett after his grandfather, and man, does that sound like a grandfatherly type name. And eventually, though, Gilligan discovers that the reason why Everett wasn't flying was because Everett was renamed Emily because she laid an egg. And so yeah, that was probably why Everett wasn't flying. And this is what leads into the dream, where Gilligan dreams he's a chef in the Old West, and he has to protect the duck from everyone that wants to eat the duck. Which the castaways actually do want to eat the duck because, well, if the duck can't get them and escape, they might as well get some food out of it. But can I say something? If Everett is actually an Emily and thus can lay eggs, keep the duck around for eggs, and maybe if it gets fertilized, you can have some more ducks, which means more eggs or meat if that needs to be the case. That would be the smart thing to do. But it's not the fun thing to do. It's not the working with the scenario of the episode. And eventually they do decide they are going to eat the duck, but none of them can go through it. Gilligan tries to pawn off his old shoe that he used as a duck dummy as the duck didn't work out because they hurt the duck. Which, by the way, in the dream, at the end of the dream, Gilligan shoots his guns as the sheriff into the air in celebration and shoots his boot out of the sky. Which I think is just a good gag. And then, of course, eventually, though, the episode ends, and with Emily eating that plant, they saw that it was poisonous, so they determined that, oh, it's not poisonous, we can actually eat it. And then they let her go, but Gilligan forgot to attach the note. So the rescue attempt has been foiled again. But still, they should have, I understand the send a message back, but that wasn't going to work. Don't kill the duck, raise it for eggs. That's food for you guys. And there might be things that the duck can eat that you can't eat. So, yeah, that's what you should be doing. You know, getting some agriculture going. You know, something a bit more reliable than fish, something you can take care of and monitor. Because fish is, well, if a fishing boat comes through, you might be out of fish for a little bit. But overall, it's a good episode. Am I questioning the logic a little bit? Yes. Should I? No, because it's Gilligan's Island. Logic is not the name of the game. But I will say, it's a good fun episode, and I really do like how in future episodes we see more of these dream sequences, more of throwing out characters into these different positions, and also allowing the actors to act in a different way than they normally would on the show. And apparently, too, reading the wiki, is that apparently the set they used for the Old West is actually apparently the set used in Gunsmoke. And apparently they use that in a later dream sequence of Mr. Howell's. So I do find that quite interesting how that exists. And it makes sense to reuse sets. Not Gilligan, because that's what I'm talking about. Star Trek, in one of the episodes, I believe they reused a couple different sets, including sets from the Andy Griffin Show. So it's something that TV shows used to do a lot, and that tells you what studios were backing what shows because you started seeing similar sets. But that's all I got to say. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching my latest retro review. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to give this video a like. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so already, and I hope to see you for my very next video.